I think a key way to develop a culture that really values data and analytics means that we have to continue to invest in data and analytics. And I think what we've seen, certainly through COVID, I think there's been a rebirth, a revigoration of the data analytics community. So one, it was great that we all pulled together and worked together, but I also think system leaders better understood the value of the team as the team moved away from just doing the BI and operational performance management, which again is really important stuff. 160 billion pounds being spent. We need to make sure that we're doing it on the right things and spending it in the right way. We need to kind of report on this. But when you then see the real advantage of analytics on top of that, being able to kind of predict, the future by using the maths and the data in an appropriate way, and then being able to help support and change how we invest money and make decisions. So we need to continue to invest in data analytics. I think that you'll see later this year that HSJ is working in partnership with AFA around a campaign around making sure that we have someone, a chief analyst or someone who understands analytics on every board in the NHS, because we're a science-led organization where we should be making decisions based on data, but you need to make sure that the approach taken was appropriate and that the data and the results are meaningful. So we need to be able to make sure that we're investing and making sure that we have those people on the board. Continued education and training. We know that there are many analysts out there, 13,500 analysts in the NHS, many of which don't have access to continued professional development, which is a real shame, because there's some great communities like NHSR and PICOM and the Midlands Decision Support Network that are out there to help support analysts across the country. So we need to help do that. We need to make sure that we're still working together in a collaborative approach. And when you say losing the human touch, or we think about that, we've got to remember that decision making is a collaborative and it's a social thing. So again, creating decision analysis where we can agree on how decisions are made and then use the data to inform that decision. But I think there's a huge part of decision making that is the human touch, getting analysts more involved with the community that they're serving, and to make sure that we can support that decision making from now. And in 5 years' time, well, I very much hope that we will see further, adoption of our data scientists, and see that the speed that they can turn around analysis and making sure that that's appropriate. So I think you'll see many more people using big data, using data science to help inform decision making, being able to help use data science to be able to help inform where we should intervene and look after our populations going forward. So I think it's a great time for the NHS. I think we're on the cusp of something really big, and there's kind of a groundswell behind analytics. Esther, in your world?
I would echo a lot of what you've said, actually, Andy, just with a slightly different view. I think the role of data and analytics within life science organisations, again, as science-led, science-championed businesses, is also absolutely at the heart. But does that voice translate through clearly enough? Listening to you, it occurs to me that so many of the challenges around professional development, around keeping pace with the huge acceleration of data and information that we find ourselves kind of deluged by, is common. And I wonder how much of the core questions of trust and reliability could be boosted by creating collaborative ways of learning together. Ultimately, we're all in the business of making the best possible decisions to serve the populations and communities that we live within, and making sure that we bring the best benefit through the technologies that are invested in, whether through development or through deployment. So I wonder what more we can do as leaders in this space to encourage mutual learning and communities that learn and grow as the technology learns and grows together.